Being a parent for the past 25 years and observing my teen and adult children and their peers, I've sometimes wondered about the factors that would make a child come out to be more goal oriented than others, or wondering what transpired in childhood for some kids to end up fully adept at playing a musical instrument, for example, or how come some kids become student athletes motivated to train every day and have the fire of competition in them. This fire, more than curiosity about achievements, is what I'm curious about. The fire and thirst to learn a skill and being very good at it, having the grit and tenacity to practice and sharpen that skill on a daily basis, and be confident enough to showcase the world through performances or competitions. Surely not all kids are built for that. And that's super okay, right? But there's something to learn from parents who experience being in the driver's seat of nurturing their child's innate talents. So to start off, to start us off on this very interesting topic, and I think this will be a series, I first thought of my friend and fellow mompreneur Mafae Belasco. Mafae herself is an accomplished woman. She's a model and former beauty queen, trainer and coach. She heads her company, Mafae Management, is a content creator of shows like In Love With Me, Passion and Purpose, and does content for Kumu as well, and is a podcaster herself. She's also a well-being boost coach and an advocate of empowered stepmotherhood, or as she calls it, bonus motherhood, and advocate of woman entrepreneurship. She's a motivational speaker and author, and overall, above all that, she is a mom to her 6 kids. I kind of paused there because I sort of lost track of her children because, well, every time I see her, parang she's a new baby. Wait, scrap that. Okay, I'll start it from okay. So to start us off on this very interesting topic, and I think this is going to be a series, I first thought of my friend and fellow mompreneur Mafae Belasco. Mafae herself is an accomplished woman. She's a model, a former beauty queen. She's a trainer and coach. She's president of her company, Mafae Management, and a content creator of shows like In Love With Me and Passion and Purpose, and also a Kumu content creator and podcaster. She's a well-being boost coach, advocate of women entrepreneurship, and she does motivational talks on this, and also part of a book on empowered motherhood. And she is also an advocate of what she calls bonus mom or stepmotherhood. And I think she's a very good example of that. Being mom to 6 children with her husband, Nick Velasco. So Nico, Mike, Moses, Nikki, Noah, and Melo. So in this episode of You the Mom, Mafae spills the beans and some practices that she does as a mom to her brood to help them grow and thrive as humans and make the most of their God-given talents. So let's all learn from her. Hi, everyone. We're back at You the Mom. And today I have with me a good friend of mine. I've known her for maybe 20 years. And I really see her as one of the ultimate multi-hyphenate moms. Okay, just to give you an idea. Okay, so she was still single when I met her. And she was a model back then, professional model. I think she was one of the very popular, sought after models because she had morena skin, super Filipina beauty. And we would work on different projects together. I had an events company back then. So she was a model. And then for a while, I didn't see her. I think she went abroad probably. We'll ask her later about where she went. And then later on, when she became a mom, so she first became a stepmom to her kids and then had her own kids. And she suddenly exploded into many different things. Wait, I'll call her in first so that we can talk to her about the progress of her life, of her passions. We share the same hashtag and mission, which is passion and purpose. And I'm so excited to have her with me today. Been trying to catch up with her for some time, but like me, she's also all over the globe. Nox, let's call on Mafae Belasco. Hello, Mafae.
Hi, Janice. Oh my gosh, yes, finally. We're meant to meet right now
Yes,
in this
always at the
cold
right time,
weather.
right? In the
Uh-oh.
cold weather. Let's first tell our listeners right now um, where we are. No, we actually, just to give you an idea, um, I left Manila, right, in for Canada in March, and then Mafe is in Manila. And then when I visited Manila just last month, she was there, but about to leave for the
Yes.
US, which is where she's based
Uh-oh.
now. Okay, so Mafe, tell us where you
Yes.
are and what are you doing in the States. I'm not sure if everyone knows the decisions you made in the past year. Can you tell our listeners what you're up to?
Yeah, so it's funny because last year, 2021, my husband and I, we really manifested to travel for 2022. And we
Yes,
didn't realize that we will be actually visiting many countries this year. And uh, there was beautiful memories or beautiful moments that we were able to attend, and also one um, heartbreaking one, which led us to where we are now. Although we had this planned already. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, we wanted to move our older children. So
yes,
I'm sure Janice will cover that.
yes.
Earlier she missed one, but there is six of them. There is five boys and a girl, and Nico's eldest, who's 22, turning 22. Oh no, he's 22. And Mike, who's 20, who was the first one that moved to the US, California, for college. And then there's Moses, who's 17, Nicole, the only girl, who's 14, and then Noah, who's 6, and Mello, who's 2. So originally, the four older ones were going to transition to go to school and be based in the US. But then before that, of course, my husband and I was able to go to Malaysia, to attend one of his best friend's wedding. And then we also had planned for me to go to Australia this year to attend my best friend's wedding. And so we did all that. But of course, like I said, Kanina, my father-in-law actually passed in June, and it was very heartbreaking because it was our reunion with him because he never met the two younger ones yet. But I know that it was God's time and his way of saying that this is our next chapter and that we need to be together, not separated. So, yes, now we are all here in
Yes.
California, Stockton to be exact, where my husband was born and raised. And so now the two high schoolers, which is Nikki and Moses, are also attending Nick's high school. So,
Wow.
yeah, it comes in full circle. My
Full
mother-in-law also
circle.
graduated there. So, I mean, we are meant to be like what we always say with Kimmy, we're at the right place at the right time with the right people. And I
That's
know
right.
both Janice and
Hi,
I have
Kimilu.
sacrificed. Yes, hi Kimmy. We sacrifice a lot for our families, and we
Yes,
still, I guess, walk the talk so that our communities and the people that we are able to mentor or inspire really see that we're humans also. And I think
that's
first things
true.
first, that I've really learned from my own parents and also God, that family is always first, and then everything will follow, as long as you work hard for it. So that's where we
Yes,
are now. I think there's so many things that we both still do anyway, like whether we're in the Philippines, Australia, it's really up to you. It's up to you to be determined and inspired, because like this, we can be connected. My gosh, I'm also
yes,
very connected with Kumu, so all the community there. I really appreciate the support. So with Janice being in Canada, and me now being in California, and we still got to meet in Manila, it's just perfect timing.
yes. It is actually really an amazing world right now. Just because we move physically to other places doesn't mean we just have to give up on this work, especially that we do, and being connected. So, Mafe, you just giving an intro makes me realize that I think this is a three-part series.
Oh yeah, it is.
So first, we're gonna talk about your original advocacy, which was about stepmotherhood, which I super love your story, and I feel like people can learn so much. And we've shared that on Mommy Mundo in
Yeah.
Expo Mom, but this is another platform. We'll have that in another the third part
Yes.
series, and then we
Uh,
can also talk about living abroad, like how we reinvent ourselves, how we can maintain connections and things like that, right? But today, the focus of this first part of the series is your motherhood. Your motherhood, while talking about yourself as well, because I believe that if we are to encourage our kids to find confidence in themselves and find their passions and just live intentionally and explore life, be excited about learning, it starts from us moms,
Yes.
right? And that's so
Yes.
apparent with you. Okay, so first, I said earlier, you're a model, and then you started your family with Nick. Hi, Nick, I miss you. And then you started doing content creation and Mafae management. Okay, so I think that was hand in hand. I'm not sure what else Mafae management does, but in the front,
Mhm.
the one that's front facing is content creation. You do podcasts, you do Kumu, you're a Kumu content creator. You do your videos, um, and also you got into your well-being boost program with Kimi Lou, who's another magical person. So you're starting to coach people. You also was teaching modeling. You were imparting basically skills that you knew, like
Mhm.
having confidence on stage, things like that, teaching young girls and all. So I really see you as someone who's a natural teacher, natural giver. And the way that you followed your heart in a lot of things, like also your Osmompreneur work and being and launching your book. My gosh, when I watch Mafe, I'm like, I'm so slow. I'm like a turtle compared to her.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
you are
inspiring.
amazing.
I guess it
You're
depends.
inspiring to me.
It's okay. It's about you today, Mafe. But you inspire me to just follow my heart and really just not be afraid, right? And you living that, I see your kids, I'm sure they see you, right? And
Mhm.
I know there's challenges. It's never perfect, but I want to know the inside picture. Like because our topic for today is how we parents can nurture our kids' passions and interests. So how do we
Yeah.
make them come out of their shell? So can you I know you have a lot of kids, which I missed one nga
Yes.
kanina. But maybe you can share stories about um how you got your kids to really follow their heart. Okay, like for example, Nikki, your daughter, your only girl. When I met her, she was already very confident, and it's like she knew what she wanted, or she had interests, and she wasn't afraid to speak out. And now she's into is she still into basketball?
Oh my
Tell
God.
us the story of Nikki. I guess it starts with Nikki.
Okay.
She being a girl. So
Yeah.
did you have any challenges with her, and how did you make her bloom to what she is
Well, I think,
today?
yeah, having daughters, including
Yeah,
us, diba? We're also daughters. I think
that's
it's an
right.
ongoing emotional and also the physical changes,
Yeah,
and then just empowering them where you have to communicate. Because her being the only girl and me also being the only girl, sometimes maybe at times that might feel we're so invincible because we have, of course, being the daddy's girl, also being a mom's girl, and then you have brothers who protect you. You feel like, oh, I can do whatever. I can act
yeah,
however I want. I know, treat people however I want, but that's where we put the pause, you know. We give the reality check that you
yeah,
have to respect everyone around you, no matter who they are. You have to respect yourself and understand whether this is for you or not. And if you are passionate about something, you have to work hard, right? It doesn't happen
yeah,
overnight. And I know for our children, we had to constantly teach them and guide them and let them know that whatever mom and dad achieved, it was not overnight. You know what I mean? We
yes,
went through so
true.
many heartaches, so many rejections, so many
Failures.
exactly. So,
Yeah,
that's the constant guide that we give our children. And I think we have to walk the talk. Like for me, I really show them when I'm not, when I'm extremely happy, when
yeah,
I'm upset about something, when I'm really sad about something, I cry in front of them. I don't
yeah,
hide. No, I don't pretend to show them that I'm always happy because life is like a roller coaster ride. That's what I always,
yeah.
give them that like
Analogy.
you know
Yeah,
because when you're in a roller coaster, sometimes you're so nervous to get on, you're about to cry, and when you get on you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and then when you get off it's like, I want to do it again, you know?
Right.
So when you align that with life, everything you do when as soon as you wake up in the morning, whether you have an exam, whether you have a game, you know,
Yeah.
what are the things that will make you do well, right? So you create the habits early, and that's something that I also mentor a lot of the people I talk to, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that we talk about Kimmy because she really helped me. I mean, people may think I'm a strong individual, but we're all not perfect, guys. You know, I
Yeah.
have my off days, and I was like, explaining that to Janice earlier
True.
that it's transition. Any transition that you have when you're starting all over again, it's not easy. But when
Yeah.
you know your why, and for me, I have to keep reminding myself. And thank you to my husband who's so supportive, and of course,
Yeah.
life, you know, vice versa. We keep like reminding ourselves, this is for the children, this is
Yeah.
for their future, this is for, you know, all the sacrifice that we do, right?
That's
And
right.
sometimes God even, you know, gives you that reality check too. Like you think you're doing
Yeah.
what you're supposed to be doing for the rest of your life, and then he just goes, "Nah, I'm gonna take that away because you know
Right.
you got more. He's got
Mhm.
more doors for you to open,
Yeah.
right?" So
If we're
it's
open to it, right?
teary-eyed now.
I know, right?
I'm getting teary-eyed
We're gonna
because
cry.
we're both living the moment, right? And no matter the transition, I know, like, you know, even me, I was just in Australia and I just remembered like how comfortable it was, how I love being with my parents and how I love being with my brothers. But then I have my family too. Like, so I have to like balance that out. Alam mo, it's always hard to leave the departure area when they're not coming with you or they're the ones leaving, di ba?
Oh,
That's the most like challenging. Like you're trying to be strong, and then as soon as you turn the corner, you're like,
yes.
oh. So for
It's
me,
good
those
to
are
cry though. Sometimes I can't cry. That's harder. It's nicer to cry because after that you feel like okay,
but
right?
what's hard is because you got to go through immigration, and so you're trying to be tough with the immigration like officer, but they know,
They
and that area
know. Yeah.
they see everyone crying. So for
Yeah.
me, it's just like I had such a roller coaster ride so far. And like I mentioned to you, right? I've
Yeah.
attended so many weddings and then of course a funeral. And then now, like, you know, just going through the transition again. And all of this my children see. You know, all of this we talk to them about. And that's something that really needs to be number one is communication. Because when
Yeah.
they feel the comfort, then they will communicate back.
Yeah.
And, you know, bouncing back to Mafae management, that's the reason why I was also had the intention to create the business in the realm of social media or online things so I can have a conversation with my kids. You know, like,
Yes.
hey,
Right.
what I found, I know how to do a reel. Oh, hey, show me how to do, you know, because you have to find ways to speak their language.
Yes.
And if
So
you're not that
connection.
exactly. If you're not intentional as a parent, then mawawala talaga. It's like
Yeah.
you're like strangers and then they're in their room, you're in your room, or you
True.
know.
Yes.
So
So, Mafe, when you if you see, because we know our kids, like even if they don't talk to us, we know, right? We have it's like
yes,
a connection we have with them because maybe they came from us, right? So, we know what their gifts are even before
yes.
they know it. We know what they are capable of or what they're not capable of, or maybe strengths and weaknesses. How do you lead them towards where you know that they can grow and really bloom? Like even if it's not a natural thing for them yet. For example, you see someone being creative. How do you are there ways that you guide them through so that at least that experience their gifts more?
Well, just like my dad, right? My parents, they put me in so
Yeah.
many different activities until I loved one. Right?
Mm, yeah.
And for me, it was sport, it was tennis, right? So that was my number one passion for so many years. So I think just being, having parents and identifying how they were able to support me, that's where
Mm,
it led me to, okay, when I had my kids, I saw,
yeah.
okay, they like this, that. All right, let's do more of that. And if they decide, it's not really for me,
Yeah.
but at least tried it. You know,
Yeah.
and the
Right.
experience is very vital instead of you saying, "Oh, I want to do that, but I don't know." You know, so
Mm,
yeah, let's
yeah.
do it. Let's try it. Let me pay for a class, or let's do the free trial. And
Trial.
kung
Yes.
hindi talaga ano, then no worries because you have to like I always share this in my talks. You have to go the extra mile to experience it if you really like it or not. Because if you don't touch it,
Yes.
you don't feel it, you don't feel what makes your body feels, or maybe your heart is happier when you are in that moment, then
Yeah.
yeah, let's pursue it. Like my son Mike, he's a musician, he's self-taught. He really dived in, as in every time I walk into his room, may bagong equipment. I'm like,
Okay.
how did you
Yeah.
get that?
I actually
You
was
know?
surprised to see your post with Mike playing the guitar. I was like, this
Yeah.
family.
We're
You
all, we're
know,
also,
so many gifts.
we're also surprised with that. So for me, it's like, okay, you want to do that? Then yes,
How did
we'll
Mike
support
discover
you.
music?
Um, we listen to music. My husband loves music, jazz, and everything like that. And then we bought him
Yeah.
his first ukulele. And when he
Oh.
started learning, yung pala, he's very good with
Wow.
his fingers, he's just like coordination.
And he had an
Then
ear for music.
we got him the acoustic guitar. And then all of a sudden, siya na nagsabi, oh, I want an electric guitar,
Wow.
bass guitar.
Whoa.
And then yung mga pedals, siya na nag-complete nun. All of a sudden, like there's all this delivery coming to the house. Like, and it started off from him teaching the ukulele to other children. And he
That's
earned the money.
amazing.
And then he bought he on
But
his
his
own. So
guitar.
I mean, all my kids are amazing, but that was a great example of someone that was really passionate and they were going to get it no matter what, and without even
Yeah.
asking for support. And that's something that Nick and I did in our younger years too, because we wanted to achieve that.
Yeah.
We wanted to experience that life. And I know all of them that have that go getter mentality, because that's what we've been trying to instill in their
Yeah.
mind, body, and soul.
Okay, I want
Like,
to ask you about that. Because
okay,
remember nowadays we oldies we say like the kids now they like instant gratification, they're not resilient. It's all like we're judging the younger generation. But
yeah.
I don't believe that because I have a lot of friends who are younger and even my team, they're millennials and all, but and they're go-getters too. They dream, they have goals. For you and your kids, like how did you instill that go-getter mentality? Like, even to have a dream, to have a goal to learn the
Yeah.
guitar, be a musician, like Minko I know is a photographer and things like that. How do you instill that drive in them, even if they live
Well,
comfortable lives?
we walk the talk. Nick and
Yeah.
I have that go-getter mentality, whether we're volunteering, whether we're speaking, in front of many people. Actually, that's the reason why I built the courage
Mm,
to do more motivation talks, is because I know my children are listening. They're really there. I do my
yeah.
workshops really for them, right? And then it just trickles down to other people. No, this is an open book. I always tell my kids this. Hey, the reason why I do this, why I do the company, why I, uh, sometimes I don't sleep because I have so many ideas. Because I guess, for me, and Nick probably has the same intention in life, is that we don't want to miss out. Like we have FOMO. We have, like,
True.
hey, I want to do that. I want to experience that. I want to travel the world. I want to, so yeah, let me try to figure out how to do graphics or to take photos. And then I realized, okay, no, I'll empower someone who has more talent than me, and then I'll direct them. You know,
Yes,
Janice, trust
yes.
me, I did so many courses, and I even did one with an amazing events owner who did graphics, right? Who would really do the floor plan. Grabe, it
Yeah,
takes hours and hours to do that.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah,
well, I know how to do it now, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be smarter and
yeah,
just book the clients and then have my team do it. But that's the thing. When I experience it and I give them that like feedback, then my kids will
yeah.
come back. Oh, that's exciting! Like I want to try that too. Like blah blah blah. So it has to come
Mm,
from us. If we're gonna preach to them and then we don't do it,
yeah,
it's
right.
like it's like what? You wouldn't even do that. So why,
There's a
why do we do
disconnect.
that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
okay. I'm not surprised that they're just living what they see, right? Modeling.
Yeah.
So I love it. I really see that firsthand in you guys. I'm wondering what Noah and Moses will be like when they're a bit older. But did you ever,
Usually, yeah.
yeah.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, usually
Okay.
naman the
Yeah.
younger ones are the most confident, diba? Because
Yeah, and to
they're
think they're
the
gonna grow
fearless
up
ones.
there.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
they see
see.
their siblings.
Yeah, they
They
see
see
the
these siblings, and
siblings.
the siblings will coach them too.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what do you do when they have challenges? Like when they come, like you said you have heartaches and challenges and failures, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do when they go through those things?
Oh, I already know it. Before they look, when as soon as
Yeah.
they look at me, I already see an aura. I'll already be, what's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the annoying parent, like until they get it out, and then once they let it out, I'm like, don't you feel better? You know, you're the only one thinking that. You're the only one making your mind go wild, and it wasn't even a big deal. You know, for me, I feel as
Yeah.
though like as I get older and wiser, the more I let
Yeah.
out, the more I can perform. You
Yes,
know,
true.
so that's what I want to share with my children. You are gonna
Yeah.
miss out if you're gonna hold this regret.
Yeah. Right.
And bata ka pa, you know, don't add stress to your plate. And right now, it's not worth it.
Hmm. I love
So
that. I think it takes a lot of wisdom to be able to impart things that we know as with experience, with their own experiences, and then you impart it, right? So
yeah,
so maybe because we are older and wiser, then we can teach them na don't sweat the small stuff, right? Like if we were younger moms, we're like, we'll be with them crying. But so I wanted to ask you, what kind of mom are you? Like when they come to you, are you like, you know how they say that we can't be their friend because we
yeah.
have to be a certain authority? Do you subscribe to that, or are you like more of a coach or a friend, or like the way you're talking is like, hey, I didn't know you're kind of a stern mom, or parang, can you just do it?
All
Or
of the
what?
above.
Yeah,
All
how
of the
I
above.
wanna have an inside picture. Maybe I should interview Nikki and Nico.
Alam
Like,
mo,
yeah, how are you when they come to you?
I think it goes with the age because you
Mm,
can be the nurturing mom, the loving mom, knowing, letting them know that you're there for them. And at the same time, Kanina, you're sharing that I was a stepmom. I love learning
yes,
that bonus mom is actually a term. So for
yes,
me, like
bonus
especially
mom,
Nico and Mike, I did not force the issue, right? That I am their mom, right? Or I am their bonus mom or stepmom.
bonus mom.
I really made sure that they felt comfortable. And I think that made it easier for me also for my blood kids like Moses and Nikki, Noah, and Mello. And so now that they get older, they become really my confidants because I've always had that relationship with them where there is a
Yeah,
fine line when I know they're doing something wrong and I'm going to check them. But then now it's like since they of course the older ones, we can just bounce off ideas, we can have a conversation, we can even have a
yes,
drink together,
yes,
and
yes,
it's it's we've built that relationship in a way where they can be comfortable to tell me anything, yeah, anything and
yes.
everything.
So
Of
in
course,
that
the younger
way,
ones,
parang that's your friend side. No,
yeah,
that's your
yeah.
being a friend side.
But then
Yeah,
I'm also, I guess, if you want to say friend, I'm also that real friend that would tell you when you're doing
yes,
something wrong.
yes.
At the same time, letting them know that no matter if you're right or wrong, I've got your back. But
That's right.
you, you need to shape up or you need to really adjust.
Yes, yes. I guess being connected to them knows that whatever you're teaching them or guiding them through, you have their best interests at heart.
Yes.
Like we have to really show them that we have their best intentions and that we're
Uh-uh.
not there to make their lives harder as their
Right.
mom, right? So that's great. So I wanted to also ask you about the younger kids because a lot of
Mm,
our listeners are moms who are just starting their parenting
yes.
journey. So for
Uh-uh.
moms with young kids, what do you advise them to do so that their kids will learn more about themselves and um discover their gifts, discover their inclinations? How do
Yeah.
they how do they start nurturing that in their family?
Well, patience is a virtue. Just like Janice and I, we did not have a lot of support when we had our older
Yeah.
kids, right? It was kind of like
Yes.
experiment. Okay, this experiment, will this
True.
work? Will they
True.
break? Okay, first things first, children do not break, okay? Even if you let them cry for the longest time, if you accidentally they fall, of course not too high, but they never break. As long as you go and run and hug them and make them feel loved, they'll be all right. Of course, there's going to be a moments, many moments that you feel like you've done everything and still nothing works. Okay, that's when you need to pause and breathe, because when you
Yeah.
really sink into that hole of thinking that you're not a good parent, then you won't be able to move on. Okay. And this is coming from experience
Yeah.
even until now. My 2 year old, the youngest one, is, I don't know, he got all the energy, he got all the cheekiness. I feel like I'm like picking up after him every second of the day. But then he knows when he's wrong, he'll say, I love you, mom. I'm like, oh,
He's a good
it's like,
one.
I know. Anthony, he's so smart. But anyways, there are more priceless moments with your children than the bad. Okay. And like and Janice knows this, they grow up really quickly. So these
Yeah.
moments that you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, grabe, this is just very quick. A snap of a finger, you will miss this moment. That's why for me,
Yeah.
I guess I get the best of both worlds. At least my older kids are helping me. But when I am alone with him, I make sure that, okay, there's nothing else important but my child right now. You know, work will
Yeah.
wait. Turn off the cooking. You know, the older people can come home and cook their own food, right? You
True.
just have to really um, stay present in that moment. Okay, there's nothing more
Yeah.
important than your child. Your boss will understand, and if they don't, maybe that's not the job for you, right? Whatever appointment that is, you can reschedule it, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, know, you're gonna look back at the moment, and when your child is successful, graduated in high school with even college with honors, okay, it went back to that time where I gave him my all and he gave me his all.
Yeah. So it's true. Being present, being mindful, right, of the current situation of your moments with your kid.
Yeah,
And as you said, be patient. A lot of patience, not only with the kids but also with ourselves. Because
yeah.
sometimes we think that, oh, we need to do everything perfectly, and I think that's one thing we learned also as the years went
Just
along, right?
close your eyes. You see the laundry, if you see the dishes, that can wait.
That's true. A lot of compassion for ourselves also as moms, right? That
Uh-oh.
it's okay if it's okay if your house messy, whatever. I think moms nowadays, actually, the younger ones, they know they're smarter than us when we were their
Uh-uh.
age. So
Yeah.
it's really a great time to be a mom. I feel even with all the challenges that the world is experiencing right now, it's so they're more empowered, of course, with information and also a lot of support and all this consciousness that the world is learning, right? Like being going inwards instead of like reacting to the externals.
Yeah.
So with your kids, your younger ones, do you see any inclinations in them? Like, is anyone into showing signs of art or creativity or sports
Mm.
even at that age, or just a lot of charm?
Oh, there is. I see, I know, both of the younger ones athletic. I guess now moving to the US, there's a lot of outdoors that we can experience, right? And at the
Yeah,
same time, with me really being intentional as a mom, I am able to do more playing to get to know them. We can easily fall
yeah,
in the trap and give them a gadget. There's nothing wrong with
yeah,
that. Because those are the times that maybe you need a timeout, right?
right, right,
So it's okay as long as you supervise and put that parental guidance on whatever platform they're watching on or playing on. Make sure when they're on the gadget, you're there. Don't just give it and then
true.
leave. Okay,
Yeah,
because they are very tawag dito, they're innocent, but whatever that platform is can really they really target the youth, and then accidentally they watch something, and or you hear someone
yeah,
swearing or something. Oh, what's that?
yeah,
So really look into parents look into the parental guidance so that your child won't accidentally go into those shows or
yeah,
the ads for adults, right? um,
yeah.
And then at the same time, when you have play with them, like as in give them your attention, like full attention. Put your
Yes,
phone
yes,
somewhere that you won't all of a sudden sit there scrolling social media, right?
yes,
Those moments are very priceless, and you can never take it back. You
yeah.
can
Take them
never,
back.
repost it. Is what I'm
Yes, that's
saying.
true. That's true. So, Mafe, I'm not sure if you've experienced this because your kids seem to be all outgoing. But what's your advice to moms whose kids are a bit shy or, um, introverted or just afraid to try new things?
I definitely make things fun. I
Yeah.
intentionally do field trips with them, or if my
Mm,
husband has to work, I'll ask Nick, "Oh, can you drop us here?" Just like this past Sunday, he had to work, so I said, "Can you drop us at Pier 39 and we'll just hang out? We'll just watch
yeah.
the water, the sea lions, or whatever." Even if it was so cold and freezing, but I mean, it was that moments, those moments, they will never forget. And then
Yes.
and also seeing the people that walk past, or even the people that are less fortunate, like we discuss those things you know
Mm,
so
yeah.
just having the intention of being together where they don't need to always be on the phone. I know it's hard when you go to a restaurant and have meals. The first things first is like, oh, okay, phone, and then the food comes, phone lit. So for me, I like to do things where we need to walk, we need to move, right?
Yes. Yes.
So when it comes to my children having those challenges like before, and they all go through it because of puberty and things like that,
Yes.
I make sure I talk to them. I will go back memory lane. During
Mm,
your age, I was also shy.
yeah.
During your age, I was scared to talk to my mom and dad. But
Yeah.
I made sure that I still respect them. I make sure and really try to fight myself to not doing bad things, you know. But at the end of the day, I always tell them, yeah, you're a human, okay, but you know what's right and wrong. And I guess I go
Yeah.
to the God fearing. Someone's always
Yeah.
watching you. You're never alone.
Yeah.
you know? And
It always works.
well, I mean, it's just a reality check that, oh
Yeah.
gosh. And that's my parents did that to me. I always felt like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, somebody's watching me. I better like not do anything.
I love
You
I love
know?
how you kind of humanize yourself to your kids, no? Parang you're right. They think sometimes that it came easy. Like for example, me, my kids, they see Mommy Mundo and the business that we've set up, the businesses we've set up, and they think um at least you can just you can love what you do and all that. And then we have to share with them the journey that we went through, right? And like you say, I also used to be shy, or I used to not have friends like when we moved here, right? um
Oh,
oh, I
yeah.
want to ask about you with your kids. Are they how is this friend, do they have friends already? Did you have any problems adjusting when you move? No, things like that that young kids go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And what did you
All
do
of
about
them.
it?
I mean, they all started with having no friends. I mean, this is a new place, and coming from
Yeah.
homeschooling also, it's a new
Yes.
environment. Now in like a big venue with so many children walking in. It was hard for Noah. It took us
Yes.
almost 2 months. Actually, today was a milestone. He finally walked in the school by himself. It
Oh,
took
cool.
he started like I think August or end of
He would
July.
usually be clinging on you,
Well, the
clinging to
first
you.
2 weeks he cried. He didn't want to go.
Mhm.
He had a bit of a
Oh,
traumatic first day.
yeah.
So I'm just super happy that now, seeing him now, he's so mature. He talks a lot. He's just very, responsible, and
Yeah.
it's just a different kid, and that's something that Nick also told me. Like, watch him
Yeah.
grow up, and
Yeah.
he will it's luxury if we stayed where we stayed, right? So I'm
Yeah.
happy that he's transitioning well. And today again, like, was a milestone for him. Nikki and Moses, of course, it's also a new culture. So Nikki's super happy.
Yeah.
She's mature, so she really knows what's right and wrong, and she was able to naturally, I guess, make friends and understand who's you know uh or yeah, who's the priority, like what's the priority right now, and which is her studies and her basketball and her tennis.
Yeah.
And same with Moses. I mean, he's in like grade 11, so of course it's coming in sort of like college in a way. So for him it was he had like I guess a more of a challenging start, because all the kids there have known each other for so many years.
Yeah.
So he's coming as a new
How old
kid.
is Moses?
Moses is 17. So now
Oh,
that he's in the
17. Yeah.
basketball team, there he's able to make like friends who have the same I guess
The
um
interest.
you know yeah, the same interests as him. So
Yeah.
but the open communication and then the guidance of his older brothers, Mike being here ready for 8 months before us, he was able to
Yeah.
guide them all.
Mm,
So
yeah. That is cool. It's amazing hearing your
it
stories.
is.
And really, I always think, how does Mafe do that? How does she is a baby, a young kid, and then like an adult kid,
Well, Nick is very
and
hands-on too. I
and
mean,
still look like you can still put on lipstick and earrings and a blouse.
this is my happy moments.
Okay, so
But so
before
many
we
things.
end, we're going to be ending soon. But Mafe, I wanted to ask you for three wisdoms that you can impart to moms like you going through
Yes.
transitions, whether it be life transitions or transitions with the kids, work, and also connecting with the kids, how we can keep being connected, and also taking care of yourself. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, parang gusto kong marami. But okay, I'll
I know,
start with
right?
just three kasi
Just
I
three.
know we're gonna have a part two, three, four, five. I
Yes.
think we just need to have our own show. But anyways, first things first, like I mentioned to Janice, patience. I know it's cliche. I know people tell you that all the time, but that's been I guess, my power. That's been something that I am reminded of, whether it's God reminding me, my husband, and even my children. Even that cry of mom, mom, I want this, I want that. I know that's also um, high universe telling me, stop what you're doing. It's not that important. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's
True.
the first one is patience. Second one is, just um, raise your hand, be honest with yourself when you need help. We're not
Hmm.
superheroes as much as Janice and I have really
Try to
told
be.
ourselves are all these years. We are superheroes in our children's eyes. That's why whenever they need us, we're there, right? Whenever the light is shined up to Batman, diba? Batman goes. So that's our light. Our light is when we're called mom. I need this. Can you listen to me? Can you read this to me? That's our gift, is to do those actions. That's our
Yes.
superhero gift, which is naturally instilled in us. That's the reason why we were blessed with our children, right?
Yes.
And lastly, of course, I'm God fearing. My faith is really also my power, and I make sure that I pray daily for strength, for a community, or even people to help mentor me and inspire me daily, whether it be my parents, my husband, my children, and then like people like Janice, Kimmy, and many more. Yona, you met Yona.
Yeah, Yona.
um
Hi, Yona.
yeah, hi. um those are the three things, like it is
Yeah.
patience, it's being truth, and then your faith, right? And it all boils
Yes.
down to everything that you need that will keep you going each and every day. All right. If it's putting on those earrings, oh yeah, that's being honest. Right. For me,
Yeah.
I love intentionally reaching out to people. And really, I'm also reaching out for my benefit. A simple hi, how are you?
True.
Maybe you're seeking for how they really are, but really you're also trying to, like, hey, talk to me. I also need you, kind of thing.
That's right.
Or just be
True.
honest. Hey, I need your help. Can you call me? All right. Can you talk to me? Right. And again, I just want to shout out again Kumu, because the community there helps me a lot.
Yeah.
Every time I go live, every time I just am co-hosting with all of a sudden I have this spark of joy. So, that's another thing that that has been helping me for the past 2 years too.
Yeah. Mafi, invite them to your Kumu channel and whatever you're doing. Let
Yeah,
them know what
guys.
you're doing.
So,
And yeah.
I am wanting to really reach out more to everyone around the world. So, the way that we can uh, perhaps discuss, consult, or just, catch up, just find me on Instagram, Mafe B, or also in LinkedIn, Mafe Yunon-Belasco, and of course on Kumu, same Mafe B. Mafe B is pretty much all my social media handles. So, it's easy to find. So, and I
Okay.
know someone asked me yesterday how to pronounce my name. It's Mafe. So the E can be pronounced as a Y. Hindi siya mafia.
Yeah. Well,
Short for Maria Rafael.
Mafe, thank you for all your wisdom. I learned so much from you in the past 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And at least now
Almost
I
at
know
least.
your some of your secrets. Well, I really feel that you walk the talk, right? Like you said. And it's really grounded by a lot of faith and love, in with you and Nick as well and your family. So I miss you guys a lot. And I'll be watching you
Yes.
on Instagram. And let's stay connected for our next series of this
Oh, wait
podcast
lang, can I just add
session.
one more pala? Just a
Sure.
bonus is if you want to cry, umiyak kayo. As in cry, because
Yeah.
I learned that from Kimmy too, is that crying is also a form of healing. You're letting
Healing.
go of toxins and energy that doesn't need to be held in.
That is
The more you
true.
hold it in, guys, the more it hurts.
That's true. Yeah, healing. Tears are healing. So thank you for sharing your tears and your joys and everything and your wisdom, Mafe. I really appreciate it. And we'll have you here for sure again.
Yes. Thanks,
Okay. Thanks,
Janice.
Mafe. Thanks everyone who listened in today at You the Mom. So we here at Mommy Mundo believe that all moms should be celebrated and cherished. So from us to you, we say, You the
You the
Mom.
mom.